Do you need a totally awesome gift idea that's really quick? Here's a simple technique that transforms shrink plastic, mica gloss, and Fluxe Enameling Resin into this dramatic pendant. Now JudiKins has 4 different types of shrink plastic. We have white, translucent, clear, and black. The mica gloss looks fabulous on all of these plastics, but it looks especially nice on the black. I'm going to tear the plastic because I'm going to be making a rectangular pendant. One way tears easily, the other way you need to just clip it with a pair of scissors, and that will get it started so that you can tear again. Using a hole punch, because I'm making this pendant, so I want to use a 1/4-inch hole punch to punch a hole in the plastic. Now something that's a little bit different about this project is instead of shrinking my shrink plastic in an oven, I'm going to actually use a heat gun, and I'm going to shrink the plastic and then stamp into it. So using my heat gun, and I've got this cute little chopstick here to hold the plastic down to keep it from blowing away. I just apply the heat a little bit to the bottom and maybe to the top. And I love this part because this is the part that everybody always thinks, oh, I've just really goofed this up. But you notice if you keep shrinking, it eventually flattens itself up. Now while this is still hot, I'm going to take my stamp and press that right into the plastic because the plastic is nice and soft. It's really soft like clay. And when I pull up my stamp, I peel off the plastic and my image has been impressed right into the plastic. The way that I'm going to color this is using some of the mica gloss inks. I'm going to take some of that shrink plastic that was left over and use this as a palette. And then taking my mica gloss, you want to make sure you shake this up very well because that's how you get all the pigments nice and mixed together. And I just squeeze out a little bit of silver and a little bit of the ice blue, and finally a little bit of the ruby. And then using my fingers, I'm going to apply that onto the plastic. You know, your finger is a great tool because you never lose it. And just a very small amount of the silver is going onto the black here. And you notice that I'm trying not to get it in the impression or the recessed areas of the plastic. And a little bit of the red. And what I love about this ruby red and the ice blue is when the colors are mixed together, you actually get a little bit of lilac or purple. In order to set the color, I just apply a little heat, and I could use my heat tool for this. Once the ink is set, I'm going to use the JudiKins Fluxe Enameling Resin to put the glossy finish on my pendant. Just open up the tip. It has a nice small little tip here, and you can just pour out some of this powder. The best thing about the powder is it melts at a relatively low temperature. Normally I would use a toaster oven for this, but I wanted you to see how it will melt, and I'm just using a little mug warmer here. This is going to take a few minutes, and so while it's melting, let me explain to you a little bit more about the Fluxe Enameling Resin. It's a plastic powder that melts at a lower temperature, and when it cools to a nice, hard, glossy finish. While this is cooling, let me show you what the finished pendant looks like. I've applied a little jump ring to that hole that I punched out earlier, and just strung it on this great little chain. Isn't that gorgeous? The nice thing about the shrink plastic is it's really lightweight. As a matter of fact, it makes a great embellishment for a card. Let me show you how I use that same piece on a card. I have a card here that I've already mica glossed the background using a little bit of mosaic tape. Now the mosaic tape is a double-sided tape. It's a paper tape, which is perfect because it makes it easy to tear. I just apply it to the middle of my card, make sure that the sides are straight, and then peel off the release paper. And with my pendant, I just push down so that it sticks to the card. Now, to kind of fill in all the sticky area, I'm going to use some glass beads. These are gold glass beads from JudiKins. And I just pour them onto the tape, and they get caught in this cute little tiny tray. Then you can put back all of your beads right into the jar, so it makes it a little bit easier to clean up. And look at how beautiful that looks when it's finished. So whether you're a card maker or a jewelry maker, mica gloss, shrink plastic, and Fluxe Enameling Resin is absolutely fabulous. I'll see you next time.